In this age of social distancing, we're asked to pretend that we too are carriers of the coronavirus. And so, to protect our neighbors and our friends from getting sick, we are to keep uh, some distance from one another as a way of protecting others and ourselves. But in today's gospel reading, we hear about another kind of social distancing, and that happens between the Pharisee and the tax collector. We hear the Pharisee thanking God for believing himself to be made righteous in the eyes of God because of his strict observance of the law. And he doesn't stop there. He compares himself with the tax collector who's also in the temple with him. And he lauds himself that he is exactly the opposite of who the tax collector is. And so he's kept his uh, social distance, he's kept himself apart from the tax collector, lest he become guilty by association. People in Jesus' time had this worry that if they um, ran into the same circles as people who were sinners, that they too would be associated with them and be guilty because of the company they keep. On the other hand, we hear about the tax collector who can't even look up because of uh, the heaviness in his heart for his sinfulness. And Jesus says that between the two, the tax collector is the one made righteous. Um, and so today we recognize that God doesn't want us to be spiritually distant from each other. That's because God Himself doesn't want to be apart from us. He makes Himself close uh, with each one of us, and He wants to partake of our joys and our sufferings. He wants to be there to comfort us during our darkest moments, and He wants to encourage us to do the same. Now, in the age of the coronavirus, we might not be physically there for one another, but we could be there for each other in our prayer, in lifting each other's intentions before the Lord. Perhaps calling people up and asking them and checking up on people to make sure that they are okay. And so today, our gospel reading encourages us uh, to be compassionate, to be reaching out to others, even if that only meant spiritually reaching out to others. And so we ask for that grace and generosity in us.